Okay, first of all, I just want to talk about Afcon because what happened this week? I mean, football this week has been insane. Okay, first of all, you have all the English teams basically losing, except for Arsenal, but whatever. We're not talking about that. But second, we had our reigning champions of Afcon, Senegal, apparently get stripped of their title. Right now, if you aren't aware, this is the first time that I've ever heard of this happening in history. It doesn't matter the competition, doesn't matter what area of football we're looking at. This is the first time I've ever heard of this, and maybe it has happened. I don't know, but this is insane. So if you aren't aware, Senegal versus Morocco played in the Afcon final, and there were a lot of allegations on Morocco because throughout the competition they had a lot of favorable calls towards them. Now, mind you, the Afcon was held in Morocco. Just saying, not saying anything else. Do what you want with that information. Now, during the final, it was it was even more apparent that a lot of calls were being blown for Morocco, in my humble opinion. And I'm definitely not biased, by the way. I'm Nigerian. We played in the semifinals or the quarterfinals, I think. I forget. We played Morocco and they beat us. It was whatever. We'll go into that. But anyway, they had a lot of questionable calls called for them, which was just very interesting and odd. To the point where that Senegal, it was so apparent that the Senegal players actually decided to leave the pitch, and eventually they ended up coming back. I think maybe 10 minutes later or so, they ended up coming back because they blew a penalty for Morocco, which was unjustifiably called, in my opinion. And so they ended up coming back. Brian Diaz ended up taking the penalty. However, he ended up missing. Long story short, last minute, Senegal ended up scoring and winning the final. Now, Morocco then ended up appealing that win just because they walked off. So technically, they are alleged to have forfeit the match. Um, um, and so that's why their appeal actually got accepted. And now Morocco are champions 2 months later. Now, I think honestly, as a nation, as a continent, I think Africa should be just ashamed and disappointed. Maybe that sounds a little harsh. Morocco at least should be ashamed because to win a final like that is embarrassing. Okay, you clearly had so many calls blown for you. There's clear corruption. You can't tell me there wasn't corruption. You can have your own opinions. Honestly, like I do want to hear your opinions. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you watched the Afcon final, let me know if that was just me, like, am I just biased because I'm Nigerian and they beat us? Because even against Nigeria, they had a lot of calls blown for them, and it was a little odd, it was a little fishy, and now you can't really take Afcon as seriously anymore. I mean, I think this year was the first year where I felt Afcon was just really like washed and like focused on. Does that make sense? Like I feel like there's a lot of attention on Afcon this year, and and due to this, I mean, it just makes it even more of a joke. Like all the credit that Afcon has tried to build over the past years, about it being a real competition, about it not feeling like a burden for coaches of different leagues to sign the African players just because they're going to leave in the middle of the season, right? It's a real competition. It's a top tier competition. It's on par with the Copa America. It's on par with the Euros in terms of where its level is, right? But people don't see it that way, right? And I feel like the Afcon has built so much credibility, and so just because of all this, it's all lost its credibility. I mean, there was clear corruption, in my opinion. Those calls were so blatant and so clear. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And honestly, Morocco, I think, in my opinion, man, you should be embarrassed to celebrate a trophy like this. Because, not to mention, we're not just talking about the calls, but even the method by which they tried to play that final. I mean, you had goalkeepers getting their towels stolen from them. That's insane. You had opposition players, Moroccan players, literally standing on the sidelines waiting for the goalkeeper to drop his towel so they can take it, so he can't clean his gloves. I mean, what kind of sportsmanship is that? You had Senegalese players literally standing guard, holding the goalkeeper's towels just to make sure that the Moroccan players can't steal their towels. Like, what kind of is that how you really want to win? In my opinion, I thought football genuinely won when Senegal won because with all the stuff going on, with all the calls being blown for Morocco, with all the stealing towels which they did to Nigeria, they did to almost every team, with all that stuff, ball boys doing what they're doing, whatever, you know, Senegal still won, and I thought football won. This for me is, I get it, I hear it. Senegal did walk. Not all their players were off the pitch, so you can argue that they didn't forfeit per se. But I do get it. They walked off. And so maybe by the letter of the law, sure, maybe. But I think FIFA should do a much deeper investigation onto that AFCON. And honestly, if you need to just not award the title to anyone at all, not award the trophy to anyone at all, I think that's acceptable because the calls being blown, I mean, it was clear to say that there was some sort of corruption, there was some sort of bribing, match fixing, not fixing, but some sort of corruption going on. And I think that was clear for everyone to see, everyone that watched competition to see. Morocco, if you're champions, go ahead, go celebrate for now. But to be honest, I don't think anyone in Africa is really going to see you as champions. I'm sorry.